Hello, this is how I believe time travel would work if it was possible. So, my beliefs are that you cannot change events that happened in the past, even if you can go to the past, but you can cause events in the past to happen by going into the past. So, to explain what exactly that means, let's draw the timeline. So, using an example, let's say that you wanted to kill Adolf Hitler when he was a baby. This is Adolf Hitler when he was a baby. And this is when you go into the time machine to go back and kill him. Now, some people believe that if you were to go back in time and kill baby Hitler, then you could stop all that stuff from happening, and then you would save the timeline essentially from that one event. But what I believe is that either you can't save him from the event, but no one ever experiences the event, including you, or you can never change it from happening, and it is destined to happen, even if you could go back in time. Now, if you were to go back in time to kill baby Hitler, assuming, since we know that Nazi Germany did happen, it was a real thing, I believe that if we did have a time machine right now and you did go to kill him, you would not be able to. Something would stop you from doing it, because when you went into the past, it has happened before you were born, before you did anything, before you went back into the past. So, assuming the timeline only goes forward, it would go up to Hitler's time, which you were already there, and you already were unable to kill him. Then it would keep going. Hitler would exist, all that stuff. Then eventually it'd lead to the point where you go back. And then you go back and you fail to kill him, because obviously he already exists and you already failed to kill him. Then it keeps going as normal. But if you were able to kill him, then no one would have ever experienced Nazi Germany to begin with. Some people think that you could change it, and that if you could grow up with it and then change it, and then when you go to the present it'd be different again. But if you go back and you murder him, then your entire life you grew up without knowing all of the stuff he did, and for some reason you were led to go back in time and kill an innocent baby. A good point someone has made while I was arguing with them about this, or not really arguing, debating, is that if you went back in time and killed him, they think that the timeline before that, it would cut off here where you killed him, and then it would regrow a new timeline where everything was different. Now, this could theoretically be correct, but then my problem with that theory is that if it were to grow a new timeline after this point, then when would the old one exist? Because if time only goes forward, then there's no place for that old timeline anymore, unless you create a totally different one. So basically what I'm saying is, if it were to make a new timeline, then you in the present, Nazi Germany, now never existed because you killed Hitler. So now, where was the old timeline that you grew up in? It can't be in between, because that wouldn't make any sense. So where was it? The only logical explanation is that it never existed. You completely erased it from existence. But if that's the case, then how did you experience it if it never existed? That's the only problem I have with this theory. Another popular theory is that it just makes a different reality whenever you go back in time. So if I were to go back in time to kill baby Hitler, I'd actually be in a different reality. Say this is the original reality, this first one, and this is the second one. I would transfer realities to the second one, and then I can change this one as I please, and it would be different than the first one. So then I killed baby Hitler, and then I live the rest of my life without baby Hitler. Even if I go back, he will never exist. And that makes sense, because in this timeline, Nazi Germany was never a thing, because you already killed him. But that kind of goes with my original theory, that you cannot change the past events, only create them, because you did create this event, just in a different timeline. And even when you go back forward in time, it might be a different timeline, depending on what you believe. Now, my only problem with this is that I don't think it is actually considered time travel. If you're, instead of going back in time, transporting to another timeline totally, you're not going back in time. You are going to a different reality where the time is different. So it'd be more like if this whole area over here was shifted like this, and you were just moving to the present time of this other timeline, which is actually past in your original timeline. Then you live on the rest of this one, and you can kill baby Hitler, you can do whatever you want, and it will be different. This is not considered time travel, because you're not traveling through time, you're traveling between realities. So I believe that if time travel really did exist, and you could time travel in your reality wherever you want, you cannot change the past. It is predetermined. Everything is predetermined in all of the timeline. But you could create the past, and you can cause things to happen in the past. But those are the original versions, and they will never be changed, no matter what. And just so I'm clear, I don't think that time travel is possible. I highly doubt it. And if it was, I'm saying, if it is possible for us to go into the past, and we do somehow discover it in the future, I believe that we will never be able to change it, and only create it. And yes, this does mean that Back to the Future was wrong. Right. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.